merits and demerits. Along with my one more colleague is there who would be also remotely connecting to us, and he will be also sharing his thoughts on this Python merits and demerits. So this is the overall structure that would be talking, not very in detail what is all about. So, what is Python, history of Python, the scope, the application point of view, the role of Python in data science. So this is what broadly we will be talking on it, and we will be taking this discussion forward. So we talk about what is Python. So I would say it's a general purpose programming language that is often applied in scripting roles. So that is the basic, you can say the introduction of the Python, what would you can say. So it is more of the Python is programming language as well as the scripting language. So it has a dual capability. So you can use this Python language in dual aspect, and you can make the use of the Python language to the best pocket of this application, right? Either on the programming side or on the scripting side, that you can say. Python is also called, some people also call as interpreted language. So this is something we talk from the community perspective. So this is what the Python in, yeah. Yes, just to know, just for your note, we will be sharing this presentation to all the participants via email. So that's why my colleague Swapnil is requesting that if you can share your email IDs so that nobody miss this presentation and he has a copy with it, right? Okay, so coming back to this, so introduction to Python. Now, you can say when we talk about what is the difference between the programming and scripting language, right? Most of the people would be curious in knowing that. What we say is the programming language is a general sequence of instructions written so that the computer can perform a certain task, right? We set up a logic, we put up a business understanding in a logic, and we run that program, and we get the program get executable, and we get the output out of it, right? So that is what we call. But when the scripting code is written in a scripting language, okay, but nothing but it's a type of programming like that which can write a code to control the another program. So that is the value that you can really look forward from the scripting point of view. So that you have a control on other programming language. It will be sitting on the top of that. So you have that capability to have that dialogue, that engagement or the interaction with other language and bring that to you. So this is what the basic advantage, basic differentiation. There are many things, but this presentation 1 hour is not sufficient for that. We need to have some other detailed presentation. So, but we will largely cover the fundamental concepts so that people who are coming to us, they understand, okay, these are the merits and the demerits, right? Okay, why not to look back to the history of Python? I think everybody should know what is the history of Python. So it's been invented in Netherlands. Python was conceived in late 1980s and was started implementing in 89. Okay, Mr. Guido van Rossum, I pronounce it this way, is a fan of the Monty Python. Flying Circus is a famous TV show in Python, name after the Monty Python, right? So that is what the link comes. So why the Python name comes, right? So this is how the evolution takes place, right? So somebody's name, so that is what is there. And very important thing, it's open source from the beginning, right? So that is the best part. It's not like Oracle, not like Microsoft, not like any other tool that which needs to be purchased like Unit, IBM's other mainframe and all that. So it's an open source language, right? So that is what the best part of Python is that. So why Python was created now? So when we look back into the history, why Python was created, I'm just sharing the thoughts of this gentleman who was quite can say, yeah, one of the can say the contributors in the evolution of the Python. That is what Mr. Rossum. So my original motivation is for creating a Python was perceived near for a higher level language in the Amoeba, that is operating system project that he was working upon. So he realized that you need to have some utility tool, okay, was taking too long time for administrative and for all these activities. So for that he need that there should be some program which can bridge this gap, so that the gap is between the sea and the shell. So that is what he found during his project execution, and he realized that okay, this is something that thought that he got provoked. So it's like a eureka thought that the Archimedes thought. So it is a thought that same thing came from Russell. So that is what the evolution has come up. So that is what the Python created. Now, who uses Python today? So when we talk about Python, broadly, lots of applications are being now used by Python, like science, bioinformatics, Unix, WebLogics, WebSphere, CGI, Python, testing scripts. All these are the broad scope of Python and what you can do using Python. So being a scripting language, scripting tool, so these are the key, can say the applications where I can use my Python as a powerful scripting language and try to get into the system programming. That is very important. Also, the GUI interface programming, internet scripting. So, I using a certain internet scripting, you can really whatever that instead of writing a huge program of say 500 line, 1000 line code, if I run a Python script, I get the business me. I get whatever I wanted from that particular website. You can say thing, right? So component integration, database programming, right? So it has also gaming images, XML robot, and many things that which we can talk about, right? Okay. Why do people use Python? Okay, simple. Being it's an object oriented. It's more on the. I think everybody is. I assume everybody is from IT background. They must be working in Java. So Java is also object oriented programming. So Python is also is more of into the object oriented programming language. It has all the concepts which support the polymorphism. I think the people who are working in Java they can understand all these concepts operation overloading, multiple inheritance. So these are the important things where the Java is also having a very clear-cut role in managing this kind of scenarios. Very important thing, it's free, as we mentioned. So downloading, installing Python is more of a plug and play. You need to go to the website and download it. Source code is also easily available, so it's an open platform. Okay, it is very simple to use, right? That's what we are talking. Unlike Java, Python is also functional programming language with a simpler syntax. So there is a syntax when you are writing a programming language. The syntax is very simple, right? So there is no huge like typically when you are writing a C program or a C++, V C++, lots of syntax is there. You need to take care of those syntax. If something is going wrong while debugging the code, your half of the time it goes waste in managing those syntax and rectifying those syntax and get the out of it. The language constructs, therefore, there is less types of typos and great code readability. So that is what we call, that is what the Python advantage would be. Just I'll check whether my other colleague has also joined or not. Okay, he has not joined, but anyway. So why do people use Python? Now, when we come to the history, the evolution, when we who is the person behind it, so it's more of the dynamic typing, right? Typing means you need not to remember those syntaxes, those codes. So it's more of the dynamic. So it is interpreting. So whatever is there, you just put it and that particular from the tool editor that dynamic can say the typing wood can come built-in types of tools, library utilities. So it's have huge libraries built in into it. There are many third-party libraries like Numeric, NumPy, SciPy. So these are the libraries, third-party libraries, which are also used. So when you are making a program, you can recall those libraries, use it for your application, and then execute, and then get the output of it. Automatic memory management also. Okay. So when we say it's portable, Python runs virtually every platform used today. That's what we call because it's a portable platform. As long as you have a compatible Python interpreter installed, the Python program will run exactly the same manner irrespective of the platform. So it's platform independent. That's what we call. So that is the best advantage to the Python part, right? I just like to give you some synopsis. The left hand side is all about the Java programming, and right hand side is all about Python scripting. So if you see this, there is a 3-line code. for hello world, whereas if you see in the Python, it's one line. So I just print say hello world. So this is the power, this is the advantage that you can. So what we call why we this popularity is gaining because of that, right? So there is one more input output function file. So this is almost you can read around say 10 plus around 15 plus line code. Now if you see, I just give the link and the directory path and I run it and I say print my file. So imagine the person who is working as a developer, if his job of writing this as a big program, and imagine if there are certain syntax and semantic errors coming out of this program. I'm just taking a small program, but I'm taking a big program. If I want to run a big e-commerce site, if I want to run a big ERP application, if I want to run a big software, then imagine the size of the code, size of the length of the code. Similarly, if I just give the root directory name and say print my file, the Python will do this job. So this is something what from I think Mr. Rostam has thought that okay, this is the gap that I need to fill up, right? So this is what the fundamental. So I think there are many things which Python can do. So this is what just to show you the snapshot of it. Now, when we say that Python has such great, you can say the application. Now, when we are talking about the data science, right? So when we are talking about the data science, now the data science as a career is quite emerging and lots of opportunities are revolving around. So if I learn Python today, so what is my role in Python in data science? So that is what we say pros and cons side. So that is what the today's topic is all about, right? It would be little technical, okay, but I think the people from the IT background they can really understand because they know the MATLAB, they know the Pandas library and all that. But maybe something if you want to know in detail, post this session we can have a detailed conversation. So being a portable, easily integrate with another big technologies like Hadoop, database, Apache Spark, and etc. So being a scripting tool, it has that plug and play facility to get connected to all the big databases that we have. So in data science, the big data, that is what we are talking about down the line. So the Python has also has an application in connecting those. So I made a script, I connected, my file gets connected, I fetch out the output. So this everything can be done so fast in Python. It has got many third-party libraries, right? Okay, which are open source, like data analysis and available for data analysis and machine learning algorithms. So that is the best part, right? Okay. Python support for MATLAB. I think MATLAB, everybody knows what is MATLAB, right? MATLAB like array manipulation and plotting is a major reason to prefer it over Perl and Ruby. So Perl is also one more scripting language we know, right? For from R the data frame associated manipulations from the plier reshape packages have been implemented by the pandas library. Okay, the object presents a common interface to many machine algorithm and similarly to carrot the R package, right? So these are all little technical, but what it says in a very layman's language that I would like to tell you is that this has a capability which can have that flexibility and connectivity to all those can say the libraries which are there, and you can have that flexibility to make your program so portable that you get whatever the output. Instead of writing a big code, I get the output. So when we talk about the cons, the Panda is useful as a low-level data manipulation, difficult for complex operations. So when we are talking about quite complex scenario, huge scenarios where I would say gonna say big organizations, big complexity, big number of data types, number of data sets. Okay, when the complex scenarios are coming up, so it manipulation takes some time. There are some challenges in terms of managing that low level data and get the output out of it. The scalability of NumPy, which is important third party library, okay, and pandas when working with large data sets. So sometimes this becomes a bottleneck for the people. However, people are working on it to overcome these pros and cons. So these people have come out of their experience and said that okay, For NumPy, the scalability is becoming a challenge. So what is alternative for that? So that is what they are talking about. Cumbersome syntax for array manipulation. That is what we say. We know array in C language. We have learned right. That's a basic fundamental programming language. And formula specification in Python. The MATLAB Octave syntax for array manipulation is still preferred. Right? Sometimes people say, okay, I'll go with the syntax of array manipulation of MATLAB rather than getting into the Python. So this is what broad level pros and cons. There are list of laundry list of pros and cons.